vaccine is a bigger risk. Michael LUONGO is the community engagement specialist for NYC Hospital System COVID-19 Task Force. He supports the vaccine passport and joins us now. We appreciate you getting off the beach. Apologize for the shot in your car, but we're glad we got to talk with you. All right, so we're going to require passports for bars, restaurants, movie theaters. If that does not work, what's next? Will passports be required on the subway, for example?
I mean, I'm a test and trace community engagement specialist. We actually generally work to sort of track people who have become infected or have become exposed. We do talk a lot about the vaccines. We also get trained as vaccine ambassadors, as part of the work that we do. What I think is that, many people are very upset about this notion of passport, this notion that they'll be required to document. We often have to show documents when we go to different places. We get carded when we go to bars to begin with. I'm young enough.
Come on, Michael. You can't possibly compare showing my ID that says how old I am to getting a shot that the government and the FDA is not fully approved is safe is somehow comparable things.
Well, I think that what you do see about some vaccine hesitancy has to do with this things not being fully approved, the sort of the speed at which the vaccines were put through, but there were special conditions. You had a global effort to create the vaccines and to do different stages of the vaccines simultaneously, which reduced the amount of time. So I understand that part about vaccine hesitancy.
I'm wondering specifically about vaccine hesitancy because you're doing the work to try to convince people rather than arm twist them, I guess is what you're trying to say. But there's certainly been people who have been helpful to you and to your cause and those who have not. Two celebrities I'm thinking about, we're going to play them back to back. First would be Cam Newton of the New England Patriots, and then the second would be Marjorie Taylor Greene, United States Congresswoman. Take a listen to both.
Sure.
I'm just curious, have you gotten the vaccine at this point, or are you in the process of it at all?
Have you got the vaccine?
Personally, I have, yes. I'm curious about you.
I think it's too personal for each and every person to kind of discuss it. And I'll just keep it at that.
And one more thing on that, you lucky people here in Alabama might get a knock on your door because I hear Alabama might be one of the most unvaccinated states in the nation. Well, Joe Biden wants to come talk.
I can't imagine either of those are very helpful in the process.
Well, I think that the privacy issue is something that does make sense that people bring up. I think Marjorie Taylor Greene is, it's almost as if she's from another planet. I would almost say, as somebody, I go to homes where people have died. I don't think anybody in New York, my own uncle has died of COVID just days before he would have been able to get the vaccine. He was in California. I don't think any New Yorker does not know someone who has died of COVID. Yes, it hit the middle of the country and the southern states later, so many people didn't have as much of an experience meeting people who died of COVID. When we were kids, I think, I'm 53, I just turned 53 recently, I remember getting vaccinated for polio. There are people who can remember when polio was a scourge. But we don't think of that now because it's required that we get these vaccines. So again, I understand when somebody's experimental.
Although you might, I think we can all agree that the polio vaccine, the science is a little more settled on that now, 60 years later than it is on COVID. Michael, we appreciate the time. Get back with the family. Thanks for chatting with us.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.